What does that say there? How's that working? I'll have to plug that into the mirror. Just last time we just used these, we didn't need to bring any more out. But we started getting those out here and. Oh, we got some right here. One more here. They are all. Because Zoom meeting. I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
I was assuming I heard from so you had the. Yeah. I know that. I wish you know every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
You son of a bitch, I don't want you. All right. There,
I need the password. Go over there on that
for,
computer.
oh, my briefcase.
Be nice number. Because yeah. 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 Right.
Yes. You have to know.
Yes. You don't have to do everything. You bring that.
Yeah.
What do we got? I realized that yeah. Why they use volunteer? Yeah.
You'll be set up there on the desk
Okay,
and,
so.
or whichever. And you'll just log into Zoom. And then Leroy will share your computer when it comes up to.
So I will need one of these to
Um,
log in.
no, you'll just need the power cord.
Not that, I even brought an extension cord in case.
There's a power plug up there.
Okay.
So we'll just have to. So whichever one you want to be on, probably on that one over there by such underneath the screen. So you'll probably want to set up over there. The power is plugged in over here. It's laying on the floor over here next to little podium.
Okay. All right, well, let me see if I can.
And I see you got a little extension cord because I'm using both of my extension cords already, so I'm not sure if you're.
Sure, yeah.
Whole program, guess what? The speaker was, didn't put it close enough to the voice.
No, it's because when we're running it's one of those problems that we're having with this. It's not real good, so. Now, I've got a feed off of the.
It doesn't come clearly, and I think it was because it was this. Yeah, I'll put this here.
Because Stan was holding it here and it was real loud in here. In fact, I had to modulate a little bit because the volume was.
Well, I could tell you that when Leroy talked, no problem. But when you talk, I'm just letting you know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, it's, yes. I can soon. I'm hoping that it's.
Oh, we gotta give it. I got the razor. We have one.
Camera on the other end. That's the white.
There's some way to do it, but I don't know. Turn it around.
Actually, if you put it down, change cameras on the two camera thing, so it doesn't let you share.
Oh, you got a camera. Shooting out your phone. Okay, so don't worry.
Where it's pointing out. I've seen 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Is there someone out there on Zoom that can take anyone out there?
Is Big Anna Rennick still? Big Anna Rennick?
Not yet.
There.
Can you hear me in the Zoom audience?
I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Thank you.
Yep.
We got it. Yep, several of them. All right, without further ado, let's get her going here. 'Cause we're running behind. Thank you, welcome everyone. Glad to see you here. Right now, we got 17 Zoomers. And 15 to 20 people here live. Welcome everyone. Glad to see you all made it. This will be recorded. And I will get it out to you. On our agenda, first I want you to see at the very bottom of the agenda, if I can get it here. There we go. Go back, go, they're playing tonight, so you need to get this meeting going on. All right, start off on our agenda. We have financial review report with Linda Kelly, and then we have a budget, proposed budget, and Peggy Stella's gonna give us that. So here comes Linda.
Okay. Thank you. I'm Linda Kelly. I'm helped out with the financial review, but my husband said you should always start off with a joke. So did you hear about the gardener who lost his mind? He was hearing voices in his shed. Okay, let me just. I'm pretty good. All right, okay. On to the business here. The 2021 financial review took place last March, on March 1st at 10 a.m. We met in the Hudson Library Conference Room. The people that were present for this were Peg Westell, who was our treasurer, Paul Van Dammerenda, that's close. Carol Franta, Lisa Esselman, and myself, Linda Kelly. What we did is we went through all of the records that Peg provided for us. We verified bank statements, we verified deposits, we verified withdrawals. Some of the items that we did was we looked at the monthly statements, the bank statements, any checks that were written, outstanding checks, membership dues, a number of other things also. I want to tell you that this was one of the easiest things to help out with. And it was well organized. And I wanted to thank Peg for doing this all these years. She did an awesome job, made it look very simple. And I hope to help out again this year with that. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Now Peg will come on up and give us our proposed budget.
Thank you. No jokes, not for a budget, but before we talk about what our proposed budget is, how about let's say what the final of our total funds was for the October treasurer's report. And in it, the balance we have at Associated Bank is $6,826 and some cents. And the capital one savings is $20,494.79. So our total funds are at this time $27,321.19. So we have plenty of money to spend in our budget. The proposed budget, if you were here in person, I have printed out copies of it that you could have. Since you're not here in person, if any of you in the Zoom crowd, if you'd like to have the paper copies, if you email me, I will mail them to you so that you can have a paper copy, hard copy. Right now, our proposed income is at for membership donations. We're not going to have Garden U. For guest donations, plants at 5,000. Even though we made over 7,000 last year, you don't know what this coming year will be. So we're more conservative at 5,000. And we did put in some money for a fall workshop. We'll see if we have one this year or not. And the clothing sales, the grant from WMGA, we of course will write and ask for the grant. Our 3M donation that we usually get is usually around 1,000. The Bloom and Bucks plant sale, you know, if you still want to buy from Brett and Becky's, that's still on. Something that we're going to keep doing always, but we're being a little bit more realistic. This year, the amount that we got was $108. So we've got $200 budgeted to be able to possibly get next year. So our total income that we are estimating between membership dues and all those items I mentioned is $10,396. Our expenses, we have our Master Gardener Fund, through UW Extension, that's $150. The Horticulture Education Scholarship is $1,000. The community services grants we've got right now in budget at $4,000. The state dues, of course, if you get membership dues, you have to pay out state dues of $1,000. Our speaker fees, we've got budgeted $1,500, although so far this year, we've only spent $1,150. So we'll see if we make it to the budget or not next year. We have our insurance that we always buy, $552. We have money budgeted for the Pierce County and St. Croix County fairs at $350 each. This WMGA state rep we have in the budget $125. That's for reimbursement of mileage when they go to the face-to-face meetings. The last couple of years, they haven't used it. So we'll see if face-to-face meetings are actually going to be in person or if they'll just be in Zoom, whether we should continue that as a line item budget. But right now we do. The donations for gifts and et cetera is still at $400, even though this last year we've only used 50. The hospitality was at 200 in the budget, and actually this year we didn't need any supplies, but if we meet in person next year, we will be using them. Excuse me, turn the page. It does cost money to have the Octagon House sale, and it's about $350 is what we've got in the budget. Office supplies, another $150. The Zoom subscription, which is very important, is $160. Our January open house, since we're going to be doing a Zoom meeting, we've got it at $0. And when we start meeting in person again, then we'll start having the pizza party like we've had in the past, and we'll put it back in the budget. Community garden, at this time, we have it at $250. Although this year, because they asked for some additional monies later on to replace the shed, we have given the New Richmond Community Guard $422 this year. We'll see what we do next year. And the clothing vendor expenses, we've got in for 250. And I believe we're going to get at least, it's expected at least 150 for Sam. So watch out for upcoming news on that. And we do have summer tours.
I can't hear.
Well, you gotta unmute.
I did.
Normally, we are set.
And then
We've
you
got
gotta turn the here.
But this year, there's going to be replacements needed for various things like the tent in Pierce County. So we've got 1,000. I expect that we will be having our grant committee write grants. Some of that we need. So the expenses are 14,687.
I can plug it back in.
Our budget is minus 4,290. Like I showed in the October treasurer's report, we have plenty of funds. I've also mentioned that we will be doing some grant writing, and that even though we budget a certain amount, not necessarily how much we spend. So I hope you all can consider approving the budget as we have.
No, I don't want to chat.
Well,
She's talking.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Well, there, I would entertain a motion to accept the budget as proposed. By Ellen. Second, Carolyn. There we go. It's moved and seconded to accept the proposed budget. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Opposed? That's passed. Thank you, folks. Now, I want to thank the outgoing officers. Peg, who you just visited with, and Linda, who you just visited with. Matt Schmitz is also getting done this year because he has served 2 terms. And that brings us to the election. Thank you to the nomination committee, Barb Peterson, Matt Schmitz, Rose Kupter, and Barb Fulton. The nominees that we have are Leroy Clark for president. How about that? I don't know. Margaret Smith for treasurer, Barb Colton for Pierce County rep, so she removed herself from the nomination committee, but she was too late. And they were not able to come up at this point with a St. Croix County rep. So if any of you out here would like to volunteer, please raise your hand. To be a nominee, you might not get voted in, but we would just take a nomination here. We would also take one via Zoom if we would like out there. Otherwise, we will carry on here and we'll have to work on finding another St. Croix County rep in the not too distant future. Go ahead, Gene. That's right, you folks who are kind of hedging about whether you want to be on the board or not because of all the travel and stuff. The board meetings are all Zoom. And we try to keep them to an hour. Sometimes they go a little longer than that, and at this point, they are the second Tuesday evening of each month, except December where we don't have one. We have them about 6:30 and things go according to plan. We're done at 7:30. So now do I have some volunteers?
President Clark, it's Dana McKenna from Zoom. May I nominate myself as the St. Croix County rep?
You certainly may, Dana.
Okay,
Well, there, folks, now we have a full slate nominated with Dana McKenna as our St. Croix County rep nominee. Would someone like to make a motion on how we're gonna handle this? Go ahead, Carolyn.
You have to ask for additional nominations.
Okay, are there any more nominations? Are there any more nominations? Are there any more nominations? Thank you. Now, what do we do, Carolyn? Go ahead.
I make a motion to accept the slate of nominations as presented. I second it.
Moved and seconded to accept the slate as presented. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? We got some new officers, folks. Thank you very much. And thank you, Dana. That saved us a lot of hassle. And put another good board member on there. Next, I have WMGA report. Do you want to have a report for us, Ken? I know I didn't give you a heads up on that, but it's a surprise.
You know, if I realized I was supposed to get up here, I would actually get dressed into something decent, but my apologies. It's too cold out there for much of anything, so old clothes. WMGA has not had a real lot that's been out, except that there's a Zoom meeting that you all should have gotten a email on in order to register. It's on December 1st. And I'm gonna say 6:30, but my memory is kind of getting bad. But you should all have gotten an email on it to sign up. There is gonna be some changes to the bylaws at the state level, so that's gonna probably require us to make some changes to ours. There are several other things that are up on the website as far as classes go. I can't give you the exact dates of them. Again, my memory doesn't always hold it, and I wasn't expecting to be standing up here, so I didn't write them all up. But if you check your emails from WMSA, it's WMGA. I also belong to a group called WMSA, so my English kind of slurs once in a while. But if you check the website for WMGA, it will show you that there are some classes that are coming up. Most of them are fairly short, half an hour to 45 minutes in length, but they are hours that you can get for your education. Hopefully, any other questions, I'll try to answer. I'll have to write them down.
Okay, Ken, are those classes on YouTube or some way that they don't have time to write them? Look at them, they can take part.
As far as still back there, that as long as you register, go back on and get them on that website. It doesn't have to go to a site. Get them because they're really that website. It depends on the speed drives. Usually you can try to get them out as being back on that website using the log.
Thank you, Ken. Let's see. Now, I'm gonna stop this share. And then I'm see if I can try another one. But I gotta find what I want to share first. Okay, I think I got this. We're going to try. I'm going to try to get Jimmy's presentation here. She was gonna be here to give it herself, and then she realized she had a concert, one of her kids had a concert tonight, so if she could record a presentation and send it to me and we would play it, and I said, heck yeah. Now we're gonna see if I can accomplish that. There we go, push that. Push that.
Hey, my name is Jennifer Bowman. I'm the grant coordinator, and this year, the grant committee, she's with the, Leah Powell, Cindy Guzman, Karen Mark, and,
Can't see what I'm doing.
Might have to put the speaker back. I don't know why it's not loading back through.
Then after what?
Put the speaker microphone up. We're gonna have to set the microphone up here so that we can hear it.
Yeah, but they can't see it. There, can't see it up here though.
Oh, then I don't know. What's on your? Did you hit screen share?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Huh.
Go back out, back to. Okay, now go back into screen share.
There we go.
this is, Cindy Guzman, Karen Mark, and,
Well, there, that didn't go too bad, did it? Now we have, it's not on the agenda. However, I gotta find it in my email here. And we have right here, a presentation by one of our grant recipients and one of our master gardeners. Liz Whitchurch.
Don't forget Mike.
Back to Zoom, and I will share.
And how do we change it?
That's a good question.
Let's see. Oops, wrong one. Make this bigger. Get it to full presentation.
You can swipe it.
No, I was trying to make the. bigger. I was trying to get the full.
I was asking.
Oh, there we go. That's right. I wanted to try to get the full.
And you want to advance it just to use it as a touch screen. Yep.
Not up on the screen.
Oh, so what do we do? Stop it and come back again like we did last time? There we go. You got it.
Close this on here.
It's because of the Zoom people. No, don't close them out.
Trying to get the Zoom people out of there.
That's okay. It'll work. It's just right here. Oops.
There, that's perfect. That one right there.
That's what we want. Sweet.
Hello, I'm Doris, Liz, and Dave, and we chose our project. I don't want to.
Yeah.
All right. So we chose a beautification project at Trinity Lutheran Church and School at Fifth and River in Hudson. And
We selected this music for our background music.
yes, yes.
Nice.
You can see here, we have a sad corner. You're looking at the end of the academy, past the black fence. Which gives you an idea. This is our main emphasis, this forgotten corner. And the other corner on Fifth and St. Croix is our shade garden, which we did not plant originally. It was our hosta garden, basically. Totally covered by trees. And we did plant in some ferns that were given to us by a friend, and we mulched, we watered all summer. Basically just kept it alive.
You have to get the microphone close to your mouth.
Can you hear us now? Yeah.
So,
There we go.
corner, it's challenges. It's about 15 degree by 18 across the back and at a definite slope.
Yeah, really, it had a pretty good slope to it. I can't tell you the degree of slope, but it was a pretty good slope. So, you know, we had to try to figure out how to navigate that and not have everything stay in place
Wash away.
and not wash
Not
away.
have everything washed.
Yeah.
It also had a old tree stump that had been ground out. And lots of weeds. We took care of that. And
And as you can see, it's on a public sidewalk that runs on both sides of it. So it gets a lot of sun. doesn't have any shade, so we had to make sure we planted tolerant plants, because otherwise they weren't gonna last very long.
Here we're prepping the site, May 3rd. Again, we said that we had a definite slope and erosion. We could foresee an erosion problem, which wouldn't work going over the sidewalk. So that encouraged us to go ahead and put in some timbers or retaining logs.
Yeah, and what was all that was there when we started, there was across along the fence and down in the corner, and then there were a bunch of daylilies that were left over from before. That's all that was growing there. And the daylilies were big. They were very big. So we moved them around, we pruned them out a little bit and moved some of them around. So.
Okay, here it shows retention logs are in place and plants of layer of mulch have been added. This is May 25th. I'll just step back a minute. We had that hailstorm, May 19th in Hudson. What happened to that slide?
Oh, it's not that farther down. I was just, I think I was, there we go.
Back to this slide, you can see what happened. We ended up losing all our ferns. And temporarily, we hope.
Yeah, they survived, but they didn't look good for the whole summer.
In the corner.
And this is what they looked this is what they looked like when we planted them. You can see in the left corner, and you can't see what they look like afterwards, but they're basically look like they were never there. They're flat. So
The corner picture shows a corner, the larger hailstones. This is what happened at my house. It took off most of the some ends of my red splendor crabs. So we hadn't planted the forgotten corner yet, so we were happy about that. Most of our plants, we had to rethink our plant purchase because of the cost of the timbers and the fabric, the spikes, and the fabric we use just behind the timbers to prevent seepage coming through. But thanks to the $250 grant, plants from our own garden and some leftover plants from the Master Gardener's sale, we were able to pretty well fill in that space. Would you agree? Absolutely.
yeah.
So this is what we got from the Master Gardener sale. We've got verbenas and marigolds and the little silver leaves. We aren't quite sure what they were. Maybe someone out there knows who grew these, but all the takes, of course, had fallen off by the time we got these. The marigolds turned out to be mammoth tall.
They were actually like a bush. I've never seen marigolds grow like this before. They literally were this tall. I kid you not. Yeah, it was like a bush. It was like a marigold bush. I didn't know that there. Well, I didn't know marigolds could grow like that. It was amazing. I've never seen marigolds grow like that.
They're pretty. We ended up deadheading them all summer long, and the more we deadheaded, the more they flourished. I later think that we did find out what they really were, a burpee seed called Climax, and they grow up to 4 feet. So we decided we would never plant those in this bed again. Maybe else. Yeah.
They make a nice privet hedge for somebody.
Everything is basically been planted in this. Just some slides to show the progression. We had a number of varieties of the Cheyenne cornflowers. We had Rebecca. We purchased Penstemon, and we had annuals of Alyssum, Vinca. We had plants from our homes. We pretty well half the plants, I think, were probably from our home. We had grasses, catmint, prairie coreopsis, and we bought Laetris, which you can't see at all. They really took a hit with the drought, and hopefully next year they'll be much fuller.
Actually, you can see the marigold bush, as I referred to it in that picture. Behind it is where daylilies are, and you can't see the daylilies. That's how big that marigold bush, for lack of a better term, got. It literally blocked out the daylilies from behind it.
We had people come by, the principal of the school came by, one of the pastors came by, pulled up in his car, talked to us. I can't believe this corner, neighbors walking their dogs. It's a very popular area. People are walking quite a bit. And stopped by, and they were so happy because that forgotten corner, and they were thrilled with this. And then at the end, we were finishing up and everything. This woman said, we put daffodil bulbs in, and she said, well, no tulips. And I said, well, I didn't know if you guys have a deer problem down here. And she said, no. She goes, surprised if I put some tulips in for you. So I think the neighborhood really appreciated it, and for sure the church and the school did, and the kids too.
The neighborhood kids, yeah, well, the neighborhood kids.
They would be helping us. Can we have water? You know, they wanted to do, well, what's that plant?
Yeah, what are we doing? What's doing? What are you planting? Why are you doing that? Oh yeah, they would come and they'd stand there while we're digging holes, and they're just watching us. It was really fun.
So it was
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a real neighborhood project. It was a community project. It wasn't, just by virtue of the number of people that live in that area and walk in that area.
Oh, and that primrose too. Had that primrose. Right? No, did we plant primrose? Oh, these are just.
Yeah, these are just pictures of this is just different shots of it. There's the alyssum along the front. And I love that. I thought it was really neat the way the alyssum draped over the side of the logs. I just thought it was really cool. It was like Easter baskets, just, overflowing with leaf flowers over the sides of the logs. I thought that was
They
pretty
were
cool.
all plugs and we put them in, and then they.
Microphone. They can't hear you. You don't have. I can talk.
And they were so happy.
Yeah. So just another view of it.
Yeah.
That's it. Did you say something? Oh, okay.
I was gonna point out this, the Cheyenne mix, coneflowers were just stunning, and we hope that they come back next year in their true color that we bought them in.
And then we had the added benefit of some pollinators. We got a great picture of a butterfly on one of the coneflowers.
We had bees. They were really after the catmint and the alyssum early in the season, and just like they progressed to the penstamen we had, and the marigolds and the coneflowers
And soldier beetles.
and soldier beetles. We did have some challenges. I think the main one was probably watering with the drought. This mammoth hose that we probably pulled back about 175 feet. And this was not an easy task because it was a heavy commercial hose. We also had that slope gradient issue and local dogs, which did take out a few plants.
The hose was kind of fun though, because the challenge, because it was far corner of the building. We had to drag it all the way across the field and over the fence. And what was happening is sometimes, because the school would be in session, and so parents were coming to pick up their kids, and we're running the hose across this parking lot, and they're driving over the hose, or then they'd park right by the hose. We have to wait for them to move their car so we could bring the hose around their car and haul it all the way across the field. I mean, it was, and people go, oh, that looks like a lot of work. It's like, yeah, it wouldn't be as much work if you put your car in front of the hose. But yeah, that was probably the most challenging part of it. It literally took, it was probably, the watering project was probably an hour to an hour and a half every time we'd go over there, because it was just so much work just to get the hose in place to put it into the garden.
And you ended up picking up the other hose on the other side of the church to go to the
Oh, yeah. Two hoses
So
that both
we
ends
were
of the
doing
building.
two
Yeah,
hose lengths.
yeah.
But the positives, we would say the old tree roots provided mulch, nutrients. The space had never been planted other than maybe those daylilies, so the soil was good. We thought it was loamy, minimal weeding we had due to mulching. But the stuff had decayed so much that I think it really adds the condition of the soil. October 22nd, it seems like last week, we were cleaning up all the annuals. We planted spring bulbs, watered again. And we left, we catmint and we left the coneflowers and the grasses for winter interest, and it's like the coneflowers. Yes, the BT hose is the red hose.
Yeah, it comes from the corner of the building, all the way, you have to go through the hose in order to get down into the gardens. Through the fence, yeah.
We planted a variety of daffodils, mostly white and dark blue muscari, because those are the school colors. So hopefully we'll have a good snow cover early to bring forth some early spring joy and color. So our forgotten corner is no more. And we are looking forward to next year and what we might fill into some of the couple bare areas here where we have nothing. We're thinking of maybe a shorter grass that will show up in the fall. But the spaces did provide spaces for us to walk with the hose, which, I mean, we were always at a slant. That's it. Thank you. Any questions? Carol?
Winter rabbit, are we concerned about winter rabbit damage?
I would say no. The rabbits.
Don't put all the dogs in the neighborhood to scare them away. More concerned about winter dog damage.
Didn't plant tulips for that reason. We just planted the daffodils and muscari.
Oh, no rabbits, they're not allowed.
Thank you. And now,
This is we have Diana. We're going to take a brief.
oh no, we'll take a brief break, but we also have a minute or two presentation or three by Linda Kelly with a proposition for us for the
Center this summer at the Wisconsin campus. We're going to take just a brief.
You guys go check out the factories and we'll be right back.
About 10 minutes.
Thanks. Don't go away.
I just wanted to show you my sweatshirt. I got this at a garage sale this summer. I like it. It's beautiful horse. Look at, hey.
Oh, you got a garage sale? In the package, yeah, of my size. I'd order that. That's cool. I wanted to.
One, two, three, one, two, three.
One, two, three, one, two, three.
One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three.
All right.
Plug it in and put your. Is this yours up here? No. What is this, do you know?
Hmm?
You know what this is?
No. Something on your computer.
Let's see, what is this? It's your name, right?
Yes.
Come on. That's what we're trying to do, but that. Right, I got you. Yes. Now. Now it should be. No, not yet.
Now. Christine McGinnis, right here.
Yeah.
How do you get her on there? I don't know how to go.
She's already a co-host. I just made her a co-host.
Hit it again.
That's to unmute.
Unmute.
Okay, unmuted.
There you are.
There I am.
Now.
Okay.
Get rid of this if you can. We're gonna, just put this in my computer.
If all else fails, you talk and I'll be Nana with a computer.
That help?
I went back to muting her.
Yeah. Okay, there's one in here. Do you know what that is?
That's not mine.
Whose is this? Do you know? Whose is this? Is this Diana's?
That must be.
Must be. They didn't have. Maybe they did.
Diana's son.
Yep.
Which is probably that's the one that's on right now. So.
I don't know. There's one. Maybe walking. This is a map, so I have no clue what I'm doing.
Okay. I'm very low.
Mhm. I need to go back to the main thing.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna suggest that we let Diana go first.
And then do what I can say.
All right, folks. We're having technical difficulties here, so we're going to move on
To Diana. And she's got.
to the presentation, and then we have another short presentation or another couple of grant recipients. All right, now, here comes
Diane.
Well, we gotta take your flash drive out, so we're gonna go first and then put their flash drive in. Ask people out in the Zoom audience to mute.
Okay, everybody knows. Can you make sure?
are muted because it's causing feedback.
We think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's working. So I can stand here. Now, it'll be the same me.
Well, you'd love to see you.
Me. You just need to see the slides. So I want to start out by saying that I am really, really crabby and cranky. And there's a variety of reasons for that, but mainly it's the weather. And I am not happy about this cold and snow and everything. So I'm like really, really crabby, and I heard other people are really, really crabby. So I thought, let's just talk a few minutes tonight, and I'm not going to keep you long because it's snowing
blow and icy and cold outside and dark and deer are darting everywhere. But let's just talk a minute about how to be less crabby for the next 4 months. Sleep. Okay, let's just all go to sleep and wake up in 4 months. You know, bears do it, raccoons kind of do it, 13-line ground squirrels do it, and there's actually research, we just read an article that says it's okay for humans to feel like you want to hibernate too. So being tired and being hungry and being lazy, like you just want to lay around with Netflix, a bag of popcorn and a bottle of wine, is normal. So don't fight it. Just do it. There comes a point where we should quit stressing about it and just go ahead and do it, right? So, yeah, and there's a lot of new stuff out on like Netflix and stuff on masterpiece theater and stuff. But seriously, speaking of the research, okay, this is what I want you guys to do. And I'm trying to think about my state of mind and how crabby I am ready in November. But okay, we gotta embrace winter because I really don't want to live in Florida or Arizona. I don't think I could ever do that. So we gotta get through winter, and it's only 4 months. Okay, 4 months. Think of how fast the last 4 months went. Right? It seems like it was just August, right? Or July. It seems like it was just July, right? So it's going to go fast. But here's what I thought. I know what I'm going to do, and what I want you guys to do is to actually do some research. So I am on this other tirade about all of the garden myths and misinformation, and you know, the Facebook wisdom and stuff, and so I'm on a mission to kind of like get some truth out there. So I'm doing this little series of things called Garden Myths and Home Remedies, Believe or Bust. And they're like little 10-minute things, and they're getting put up on our state horticulture website. But so far I did one with PJ Leash, our insect diagnostics guy, on 10 caterpillars and the myth that you have to burn them, because people are starting fires all the time, burning these tents because they think they're going to kill your tree and everything. And then I did one with Brian Huddleston on home remedies for powdery mildew, because people are like pouring milk on their leaves and vinegar, and then they're also using that as an herbicide. Imagine that, and things like that. And my next one I'll introduce you to in a second here, but pick a myth, okay, and research it. And you know, when you see something, and I'm not saying that everything they hear and see on Facebook is bad, okay? But when you see something, I want you to research it and see if there's really any truth to it, okay? So be the mad scientist. So either read it or actually do it. And this is where we're going to have some fun by doing things. I want you to introduce you to Sally the Slug. I named her. I think it's her. So my next myth, you've probably heard the myth that slugs don't like eggshells because they're sharp and they don't want to climb over them. Okay, you've heard that. Or that you should put like coffee grounds around your hospital because slugs don't like coffee grounds. Busted. That's not true. Neither of them are true. So all summer long, okay, this is where I was spending my summer, right? I wanted to capture some slugs and force them to walk through eggshells and coffee grounds. But you know, we had severe drought this year. You think I could find a slug to save my life? Oh, I get boards of things, you know, for them to crawl under and go up like in the morning and stuff. Could not find a slug until mid-October. I was up like cleaning up the garden and I picked up this chunk of wood and oh my God, there was this big fat slug under there. There she is. And now I do have video, but I didn't think the video would go with this. So it was cold. I didn't know if said slug was still alive even. So I took her in the house, put her on the kitchen counter, and went back outside. And when I came in, there she was crawling around the kitchen counter. Great, this is so cool. So then, of course, I immediately crushed some eggshells. What are you guys laughing about? You put her in a container on it. I put her on a paper plate with some noodles. Okay. Pictures. She was then crawling around. So don't you all have slugs crawling around your kitchen counter?
You should have surrounded her by coffee grounds so she wouldn't stay put.
I created big coffee grounds, except it would have worked because as you can see, little Sally the slug up there on the left picture, she is climbing over eggshells. She was more than happy to climb over eggshells. And you can see that she could have easily avoided them, right? And there she is plowing through a pile of coffee grounds, which she also could have easily avoided.
Do you still have Sally?
No, Sally was a star. Sally was such a cooperative. She not only did this, but she did it multiple times because I had to get different videos and pictures and stuff so that I can use them in my Mythbusters thing here and stuff. So she's flying around my kitchen counter. She's got these really great antenna and stuff, you know, there. She's just flying around. But the other thing that she didn't do was go towards the beer that I poured on the counter. Because, you know, we're supposed to be attracted to beer for the beer traps. Now, I know that does work, but Sally here was not interested. So, yes, if you would have walked into my kitchen on this particular day, you would have seen multiple piles of eggshells and coffee grounds thinking, wow, what a pigsty this is. And little puddles of beer all over my kitchen counter. But because Sally was such a cooperative little slug, I put her back outside. So now I keep baking at Sally and not like Saul or Sam because and here again, I gotta work this back up. I mean, it's more like the females that would be out overwintering and then they lay their eggs in spring right away, but I don't know. But she was big and fat and I'm calling it Sally. But she's back out there, so but this is the kind of thing I want you guys to do is when you see a recommendation and it doesn't have .edu behind it, don't just blindly believe it. There's a lot of stuff out there that we've heard from our parents and our grandparents that have been out there forever. Okay. How many of you have heard that that if you put lime on your lawn, that'll control grubs? My county board member asked about it during our county board meeting a few weeks ago. He said, is now the time to put the lime on the lawn to control grubs? Epsom salt. Well, we can anyway, pick a myth and you know, here's another one. Okay, wide awake plants. Coffee grounds. We've heard that coffee grounds are good for soil amendment and everything. Okay, there is nothing magical about coffee grounds. Yes, they were plants, so yes, they have nutrients in it. But it's best if you just throw them on your compost pile, that you use everything in moderation, okay? And there is research out there. So what's on the left there is some research where somebody planted like 10% coffee grounds, 20% coffee grounds, 30% coffee grounds in the soil mix and then planted stuff. And what actually happens is once you get above like 20% coffee grounds in the soil, growth goes downhill. so things do not grow that well.
So coffee stunts your growth.
So coffee stuff, you took my joke, right? Jeez, it's just annoying. You got a joke, and coffee is one of the ways we're gonna make it through this winter, right? Because, especially if you put hot chocolate mix in it, or dark chocolates dissolved in it. So coffee's a good thing for us, but don't go running down to Starbucks and bringing home barrels of coffee grounds, because you don't want to put too many on your compost pile. And really, Sally doesn't mind it, so it's not a good slug control, and your plants do mind it, so you can be causing problems with it. So all of these things that, you know, are touted as magic bullets, and oh, it's going to make everything so much better. There really isn't anything. Remember, plants have 17 essential nutrients, and they get 14 of those out of the soil. And we live in Wisconsin. We have really fertile soil. We're not in Nevada, where their soil is not considered fertile, and they're not an agricultural state. We are. So unless there's something really goofy going on in your tiny little spot, chances are your soil's fine, and you don't need anything magical. Just the basics. Okay, so then you can get crafty, okay? And for next year's garden, how about these for plant labels? Wine corks. Just kind of, you know, make them a little flat on one side and write your plant labels on there. This is a great one to get you through winter in front of the TV, okay? This is cool. You know, you're going to need a lot of plant labels. This is incentive to expand your garden next year. You're going to need a lot of wine corks, if you know what that means, right? So, but think about, you know, we're gardeners, right? So as soon as the garden's cleaned up, we take like 2 days to breathe and relax, and then we start planning next year's garden, right? Because next year's garden is going to be perfect. It's not going to have all the problems we had this year. It's going to be perfect, and that's good. That's healthy. But think about things that you can be doing over winter, so that when spring comes, you're all ready to go, and plant labels, whether they're wine corks or some other method, are a great thing. And then cleaning, right? They always tell you, oh, spend those blizzardy days, clean out the closet, it'll make you feel good, right? And that's really kind of a good piece of advice. Supposedly it makes you feel better to clean a closet. I don't know. But there are, so this past spring in April, my best friend and my mother-in-law both passed away. And I had houses to clean up. And it really does make you think about all the junk in your own house. And all of the kitchen stuff, especially that I went through and donated and all that stuff. But it makes you look at everything in your cupboard differently now. Like, why do you need that, right? Who's going to have to clean out my cupboard someday? So I'm talking about this mentality. How are that for actually doing it? But in this mentality of starting to get rid of stuff, okay? And so look at things that can actually be used for the garden. And calendars are perfect. Right? You've got built-in drainage holes, and it becomes decorative and stuff. And they can be really, really neat things. I really like the picture in the top right of the old horns and stuff. I mean, I think that's a kind of neat way to plant things. So look at stuff in your house. Okay. And maybe you can get artistic and do like a mosaic flower pots and garden decorations. Okay. You can use tiles or some of those ceramic plates that have little cracks in them that you have for years. Thanks, actually, since it made mosaic. Or you need so this is sure. So what's on the right there, those are like little jugs, plastic jugs. And they're heated like
Cases and stuff and hung on a fence. So the caps are at the bottom of them and then there's these spaces on them and stuff. And in the right place, in the right city, that's pretty neat, right? But my point is, let's start thinking about ways to decorate the garden next year. And if you're kind of into creepy, go ahead. And then you shouldn't feel guilty sitting around playing games. There are cool, ridiculous, time-wasting video games that you can download a lot for free. So there's one called Mr. Tulip that's highly rated. And if you're into that voodoo thing, there's Voodoo Garden. The one that's moving in the light is a water drop, or it's a water creature. And you control that water creature and it like drops water places within minutes. And then you like create reservoirs to water your other plants. And I know this sounds really weird, I'm not actually thinking. My point is, when you've all watched everything on Netflix, and you still got a half a bottle of wine and a bag of popcorn there, and it's still darts and blizzard outside, don't feel guilty doing something like this because research actually says that it stimulates our brain and keeps our brain going, and it's actually good for us to be engaged in stuff like this. So if you know, can't get out and about, basically anything that you can do to distract yourself from winter is a good thing, or from the horrors of horticulture. So I did want to bring this back to horticulture a little bit here and just talk about a couple things to keep in mind going into next year. So there is a new variety of ancient common variety, but we all know about cedar apple rust that we've had in our area. Well, now there's a version of it that's called lipstick rust. And it was in this whole southern part of the state this last year, just like came out of nowhere. And the spots and stuff that you'll get on the leaf, they're not showing up good on the screen there, but they're bright red like lipstick, and that's why it's called lipstick rust. But it's like cedar apple rust, so it has the same alternate hosting with junipers and apples. And it's mostly just a foliar thing, causes some leaf spots, so nothing really to worry about. But I want you guys to be able to look out for it next year because it'll show up in summer. And it just kind of like blanketed southern Wisconsin last year very quickly. So I'm assuming we're going to see it this year. So I want you to watch for that. So that's one on the horizon. And then the other one that we're going to keep worrying about is septorial leaf spot on lilacs. How many of you have lilac leaves on the ground and color theirs? Septoria is a common fungus, but it's a few years ago, all of a sudden, is that when we had that really wet year, it hit lilacs really bad. And now, even though we have really dry year, it seems like it's here to stay, and it's statewide. And so by August, a lot of lilacs will look like this. But it's weird because it's funny because like in my yard, I've got lilacs, same old fashioned lilacs, kinds of things in multiple places, and some of them have this and some of them. So, but my point is that if you have this now for like 3 or 4 years, it's probably gonna be there. Continue, you know, it'll be there again because it overwinters on leaf crumbs and stuff like that. So if you have this and you don't want to have it, this is the time when a fungicide would be justified, but you gotta be ready. Spring, so the roots first start coming up because that's when they get infected, and that's when you have this fungicide actions that explores from germinating on your leaves. And the idea is that if you can break that cycle and, you know, by using fungicide for a couple of years, then maybe you can get it out of there. But lots of calls to me about this one again this year, and it just seems like it's here to stay. And then the other thing I want to scare you about is our drought. So we've been in severe drought
in Pearson, St. Croix counties, most of the summer, we're still in severe drought. The Twin Cities, last I heard was like 10 inches below normal on rainfall for the year. Eau Claire's only like 4 inches below. But we're in between and we're in that severe drought. So our woody plants especially took a hit this year, even if they didn't show it yet. If, you know, they weren't getting water, they're really stressed. And so we're going to have things, a lot of times these drought consequences don't show up for a couple of years. So some will show up next year and some will show up the next year. So brown evergreens like those are lighting, right? Dieback on trees like the picture in the middle. And then the picture on the bottom left is 2-line chestnut border, which is a borer, similar to how MLS borer works. It's a native insect, but we have other borers and bronze birch borer and 2-line chestnut borer that typically don't hurt trees severely unless they're really stressed. So we're going to have oaks dying in a couple of years because they will be tested. So it's a kind of thing that if you've got some big beautiful oaks that are a big part of your yard, you might want to keep an eye on them and maybe next year consider doing a treatment to kill the larvae. Same treatment that's used for emerald ash borer. But this is going to be showing up, I'm afraid. And then the other part that goes with it is, you know, that was the date. What's today? Thursday? A week ago today in the morning, it was 69 degrees. It was about I took a little break, lunch, I'll sit in my eating my lunch. It's getting colder. And that's my thermometer went down 1 degree. That's a fast drop, right? So I've been in the house, right? But our plants wouldn't, and I'm really concerned that the hardening off process for plants is gradual. And I think we're going to have some damage from it going from 69 to where are we at now? Some stupid 60 degrees or something, and it could be 5 on Sunday morning. And I don't think that's why we're having. But we're going to see dieback from that hardening off thing, and it's going to be similar. Browning evergreens, dieback, and things that die back to the ground. Hopefully the roots will be okay yet, but we're going to have like shrubs that don't leaf out all the way to the tips and stuff like that. So that's my horror stories to watch for next year. The other thing that research shows is that it's the short days and the darkness that make us cranky. So giving us more light, having more daylight and brighter lights indoors and for longer periods is supposed to help our frame of mind. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Your plants, your house plants really do benefit from supplemental light. And so if you have a smartphone, which I'm sure most of you do, download light meters to figure out how much light your plants are actually getting. And there's a bunch of free ones out there. There's some that cost $1, there's some that cost more, but you basically put it like right next to your house plants and you can tell how much light is hitting them. So that the microphone just died. Feels weird to me, sounds weird. So these plant apps are really is it working? But you can monitor how much light your plants are getting, and you can look up your plant to see how much light it wants. But remember that even in a sunny window with the sun coming in January, you think, oh, my plant's getting all this nice bright light.
We're in Wisconsin. And that light, that sun is low in the southern side, it's weak. It's going through a window that has UV blockers on it so that your carpet doesn't fade. And if you didn't wash your windows, that's blocking even more light. Hopefully you took your screens out, that's blocking even more light. So the sunniest indoor spot in your house is darker than in the shade outside during the summer. So your plants, your house plants will be suffering. So these are kind of cool though. It's kind of fun to run around your house and test the light levels in all the different places. So do that. And remember, winter's almost over because think about it. In 5 weeks, the days will not be getting shorter. In about 6 weeks, they'll start getting longer. And no, by that point, it's January. So then, you know, it's only about 10, 12 weeks until March, spring, is it the equinox or whatever, kind of a thing. Winter's almost, so we don't have to be that. But I am, so, anyway, it's so nice to see everybody. So Sandy's question is, what about the side for Victoria on lilacs? I'm going to yes for a vanilla mill, but to be quite honest, I would want to look up the fact sheets from UW Extension that's on the website, what Brian Huntington's latest recommendations. Any other questions? So we will. I love that you have a touch screen.
Thank you, Diana. We've missed you also. And now we have one more short presentation, which we had to make room on my computer for the flash drive to go in. So that will be here and then we'll wrap her up. So hang on, folks. Now what do you do?
I don't know.
I gotta know what. Find it.
Look, Mac.
What's it called?
Yep, try that.
The top one?
Yes. Look at that.
Okay, don't forget to.
How do you open it up on yours? How do you make it so it's slide, so it's projected?
So, oh, I see.
Oh, there it is. Didn't go up there. I don't know how to get out of these things. How do you go back to?
I don't know. Well, nothing there.
Down here?
This just advances slides, I think, right?
That moves slides.
Yeah.
How do you get back to the regular screens?
I don't know.
See, I don't.
That just takes you
No,
back
it's gonna
to-
take me back.
See, and the problem is I don't know how to use this on.
Right, okay, so.
Okay. You have to go to a share screen or something, to change it.
Yeah. Is that it? Yeah,
That one.
bingo, yeah. There, now, is it coming up? There it is. Hey, 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 look, look.
Okay,
Whoa.
now they get it to change. How do I change on here? Next one.
Here we go.
Okay. Got it.
That's the first one?
Actually, should be the first.
Okay, so there you go. Don't forget to use the microphone. Hold it close.
Gotta hold it close.
Thank you. I'm Christine McGinnis, Jean Powell, and together we work on the Hopkins Most Garden. This year, we received a grant from the Master Gardeners to add a new garden to the collection of gardens that are at the house right now. Jean and I have been working the last couple of years on trying to revamp some of the gardens in the Hopkins house to make them more historically educational. We are trying to show what the gardens during the period of the house's life. So far, we've developed a printed garden that is showcasing native plants, because many historical books said anybody can afford to have a garden, just go in the wild and dig up pretty flowers to bring them home and beautify your home. The benefit of this is that we can also talk about the pollinators and how important these plants are, and hoping people see them grown as we bring in the garden, they'll realize that they might be able to start them too. Another one of our gardens is a horticultural garden that is showing horticultural advancements. Such as we have a few plants in there, few varieties. One is the coneflower, which is really easy to show around survey through all of the hybridization over the years. And we are seeing some data lilies from orange ditch lily to the more hybridized ones to the green lily ones. And we've been doing some butterfly weeding also. We also have a cutting garden. The owner of the home, this is one that originally cut garden, there are records of her cutting flowers from her garden and taking them to the church every Sunday to use on the altar. We put it in an everlasting garden, so people can see how they can dry flowers for use in the house in the winter. We started a woodland garden, and next year we hope to add a apiary garden. Change my screen. This year we used the Master Gardeners grant. I'm echoing. Hang on. This year we used the Master Gardeners grant to plant a tapestry garden. And we had a few extra dollars, so we spent the last of the money enhancing our Victorian tropical garden. Tapestry gardens were very popular during the Victorian era. As you know, this was the age of industrialization. And so for the first time, people had a little bit more free time. And one of the things that they used this for was for gardening, just for the sake of beautification. Shopping was easier and you could go into town and buy things so that everybody didn't have to grow everything they needed in their own property. Tapestry gardens took their inspiration from the Victorian rugs of the period. And took a picture of this one. This is actually a rug that is at the Donington House, and we looked with the design for our garden. And you can see the lower, I'll call it flower on the right, is the tan with the dark blue, and then the red center. We took a stylized pattern off of that one to plan our garden. This slide shows us laying out and installing the garden in the spring, and it shows what it looked like more in full bloom later in the summer. Okay, I don't do this well. I had said we had a little bit of money left over, and so we added a few things. The other thing that was very popular during Victorian times, tropical gardens. Again, travel worldwide was becoming easier, and people kept bringing exotics back, and it was actually a sign of prestige to have tropical type plants in your home. So in this garden, we've relied a lot on cannas and castor beans and angel's trumpet that we can reseed or take the roots or reseed ourselves each year. But we were able to add a few crotons and some Persian shield to this also. I thought it was really fun researching this type of garden as we talk about the cold and the dark. They took their tropical plants out and planted them in displays in their yards in the summer, but then they brought them back into their unheated houses in the winter. And there are some great articles about how to keep your plants from freezing inside your house. The Octagon House benefited greatly from a lot of people who walked past, stopped, they did notice this garden. Usually there'd been very little planted out front. And they asked a lot of questions. And so it was very interesting to us to be able then to have people who would just stop by or ask more questions, and we could take them through and show them what we were doing in some of the other gardens. There was enough interest that we actually produced some sheets that talked about each of the different kinds of gardens that the docents could have and read to answer questions. For Jean and I, one of the biggest benefits of this tapestry garden and people noticing it more is last year there were 2, sometimes 3 of us there to work to maintain the yard. By the end of this season, we had 6 regular people who came and helped. They were not all master gardeners. Many of them were just from the neighborhood. So we were very, very excited about that. If you're wondering why I'm so slow at this, it's because my fingers and touch screens don't get along. So anyway, we would like to thank the Master Gardeners. This donation and this garden certainly brought a lot of new insights and benefited both the community and the Octagon House for attracting more people. We also would like to, at this time, invite anybody else who might be interested in working on one of these gardens. We still need help with starting seeds in the spring, or even overwintering Arcturian tropicals. So it's not just meeting and maintaining. And we also need people to help. We're still in the process of researching the apothecary garden. So we had a few other people who said that they'd be interested to join us, but anybody else who might want to join us, we'd love to have you. These, they're coleus, a sun coleus. And there is that's begonia and silkia and dusty miller and some marigolds, but we use the little marigolds. Not
And here's a really positive outcome from our garden, our tapestry garden. Oh, sorry. A positive outcome from our tapestry garden. We received so much interest in gardening that we have been requested to do a formal garden tour on a monthly basis for people to come and actually go through the garden and learn from us. So that's spreading our master gardener knowledge. So that's really great. The other thing is I attended a class yesterday for gardening, and hard to believe, but the straw flowers that we grew up with in the 60s and 70s are the hot flower that's coming on again. And they were showing us flower arranging using your dried flowers. So think about planting those this year, ladies. A hot deal. Thank you. And thank you for your donation.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Jean and Christine. And we're trying to get the flash drive out of here now without.
So you hit that, then this, and see where it says eject flash drive. You hit that, and then I'll tell you that because you're gonna have to close that first. I'll do it again. And it says safe remove.
All right. So. Yeah, Christine's. I think that wraps her up unless anyone out here have anything else they would like to bring up. Otherwise, yes. Oh, that's right, Linda. She had to leave.
But she has her notes here.
Okay.
that You may want to read about Carpenter Nature Center. She has everything written out.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's
There,
that.
okay.
She also has a joke if you want to tell them a joke.
We're good. Linda had to leave, Linda Kelly, but she had a brief thing she wanted to bring up about an annual donation from us to the Carpenter Nature Center. We had our July 28th meeting there, and it was wonderful. And they returned to the center and hiked along a trail that was really awesome, peaceful, hilly, and colorful. Everything you would like in a hiking trail. The center just recently opened its Alan Laurie Hine Visitor Center building, which was nicely appointed with rooms for meetings, handicap access, and information for children and adults alike. The landscape around the building and parking lots is now underway and will require yearly, monthly, and weekly maintenance. I, Linda, would like to propose that our Master Gardener group begin making a yearly donation of $1,000 towards the continued gardening improvements and maintenance. Some of the places our donation may be used would be as follows: annual new mulch, sprinklers, hoses, replace any failing plants, fund staff time to coordinate the volunteer work days to maintain the gardens, various planting projects around the center, pay for interpretive signage for each species or perennial plants. The signs are expensive. Special support for the gardens in the Al and Laurie Heine Visitor Center. Our annual donation would be recognized with our name on signage in the gardens or other appropriate areas, depending on how we designate the money. And this would also give our group exposure. We need some younger faces around here, faces that can learn from us and then carry on when those here are gone. Since I've been a part of this group, we have provided grants to fund many worthwhile projects. However, I believe we have the opportunity and resources to fund a yearly donation like this and would encourage our board to do so. This would not be a grant, this would be a donation. We can designate that we would like the money, what we would like the money used for. However, in reality, the decision should be left up to the Nature Center, for they are the ones who know where the money is really needed. This center is not for profit, and having worked for a nonprofit in the past, I know firsthand that having funding is a constant battle to keep whatever operation going. So that was Linda's proposal. Do we have any discussion on this? $1,000 a year.
There's other things. There's other projects, you know, if we're in that market, I think it's gotta be, you know, solicit bids, whatever, you know, proposals, and then look at them in total, because I could say, wait a second, the school forest in River Falls, the Pierce County Forest.
All right.
So, you know, there's a priorities being created in the River Falls School Forest based on what Becky Bradwell, which she talked here. You know, we got her to write a plan. And, you know, I mean, there's a lot of things that are good. And I think it can't be just like somebody comes and you give them money and then everybody else.
It could be. Yep. Go ahead, Gene.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, what I'm going to suggest is that you folks give your concerns to a board member. Yeah, no, but if anyone else has not spoken yet, how about that? Give your concerns to a board member, because we will take this up with the board, I'm sure.
Will this need to be?
Yes, definitely. It will need to be voted on. So that was Linda's presentation, which I almost forgot about. Otherwise, if there's anything else, go ahead. And if not, we will adjourn and go home and watch the rest of the Packers game. I don't know, tell you later. Thank you, folks. We will see you in January. There is no meeting in December. Everyone have a wonderful Thanksgiving and a very Merry Christmas. And our January meeting will be straight Zoom. Bye now.
Bye, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.